Who the fuck is greenlighting these movies? I just found out that Jenna Ortega and Martin Freeman are in a movie about a teacher having an inappropriate relationship with an 18-year-old student. I assume college level. That's what it looks like. And who came up with that? Who thought in their head, some writing room, I have to stream for a movie? I want an old teacher. He's in real life like 52. I want this old ass teacher to have sex with this character who's 21 in real life, but we're gonna de-age her to 18. I don't know, maybe the movie's good. And I'm not gonna find out because I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not the target audience. That kind of stuff grosses me out. Gross. Welcome to the Forbidden Land podcast. This is episode 54. The real episode 54 is probably going to go up as a bonus. I recorded it at my mom's house, and then I got back here. I plug in the flash drive, and what do you know? The flash drive is probably broken, so all the footage was recoverable, but the audio file wasn't. So the audio file pretty much was corrupted on the flash drive. So it's on my mom's laptop, and she's going to have to try to email that to me, and it's a 2 gigabyte file. And she has some of the worst Wi-Fi on earth. No offense, but it's the truth. Also, I don't know if this is a bad thing. Every time I make coffee in my Keurig, it tastes burnt. Just a thought. It's like no matter what the K-cup is. And these are new K-cups. I thought the first cup I made with this K-cup style was really good. And now I think this K-cup, like this one, same kind, but this cup of coffee tastes kind of strange. Not bad, just weird. And this happens to me a lot. So I wanted to address the 2,500 view elephant in the room. And that's episode 53. Episode 53. So I recorded that episode, and I was thinking to myself, that was a good episode. I liked that. You know, I'm vibing with that episode. And I remember while it was rendering, I was like, you know, that was a pretty good episode. I'm proud of myself for going over the hour mark for once. I haven't done that in forever in a solo episode. And, you know, I was like, oh, this is like a really funny bit where I'm like acting like I'm taking notes and I'm making fun of gangstalkers while still being somewhat. I was trying to be respectful of people in general that feel like they're being gangstalked, while also just being like a comical asshole to the guy in the video specifically for trying to spread his ideology. And you know, while I was rendering it, I was like, oh, this is a good episode. And I dug through the guy's videos. The dude who made the original golf club thrift store video, I found his channel. It's his most popular video is the one we watched. And the guy on TikTok just ripped it and put it on TikTok. And I found that video and I like took screenshots from of different frames, and that's how I made the thumbnail. And you know, I scheduled all of it out. I recorded it like on Thursday that week. Had it all scheduled out. Saturday rolls around, it comes out while I'm asleep because I sleep in a lot now on accident, and it starts gaining some views. I'm like, oh, that's cool. The next day is when it like really soared in view count, and then I think it plateaued after that. So Monday was pretty quiet, but that episode went nuts. And I wanted to read some of the comments. So I've been saying this a lot to a lot of people. The comments kind of came in waves. 3 waves, to be specific. First wave were people being like, oh, good video. And then the one guy that was like, you should use hashtags. That'll make the video pop off a lot more. I was like, oh, good suggestion. So I put hashtags in the description. And now I've been doing that with every video and stream since then, just in case. And then the second wave came in, and it was just comments from like these crazy people that were, well, we'll get into them. So let me go to the first few comments. Let's see. So here we are. We had the nice ones. This guy putting in the hashtags because, this guy suggested it and I hadn't done it yet. And then also I just recently found this book in my closet today. How crazy is that? The cover right here on this guy's profile pic. Then we have this guy who says gangstalking equals meth psychosis. True. I liked the comment. Then we get into this. So this guy commented probably in the middle of me talking. Camera is clearly not in his hand. Probably on his head. Maybe glasses? Then he goes, dude, I wouldn't speak so effing rudely about TIs, target individuals. If you watch closely, there was a dude who had a bright green jacket, and he started to leave away from the TI and should be gone already. But in the video, you can see the green jacket still lingering around doing nothing. Maybe open your mind a little bit. Now, maybe I do need to open my mind a little bit. Maybe I'm a little too close-minded. So next time I'm in a grocery store and someone's lingering on an aisle a little too wrong, instead of assuming, oh, maybe I'm in their way, or oh, maybe they just can't decide on what they want to get, instead I'm going to pull out my camera glasses, pick up something off the aisle and start waving it around like crazy, demonstrating how I might use it. And then I'm going to start going, yo, the person to my right won't leave me alone. They've probably been following me for years now. And when they start staring at me, I'm then going to incorrectly assume, oh, they're gangstalking me. They just gave themselves away. I found them out. So maybe I do need to open my mind a bit more and be a bit more of a crazy person when I'm in a thrift store. So then we move on. So, people defending me. A little harshly too. I don't know if I would say mentally ill. I think it's pretty frowned upon to use that kind of phrasing now. I do like this guy. Atex shows up a lot. He's hilarious. Cameras are everywhere. You must remain vigilant and terrified. We're watching. I love this guy. This guy is amazing. And I hope he stuck around. This guy was rude. You'll tell I didn't like or heart any of the comments that were a little overly rude about it. Like calling it hashtag dumb, hashtag mental illness. I think the people in the video, the people filming, they're dumb. Like objectively, really stupid. I think the people who fall victim to this ideology or this mentality of, there's these groups of people, strangers to me, but to them, I'm the target. I think the people that think like that have some kind of degenerative mental illness and they can't help it. It's just, that's their brain chemistry now. And unless they get it treated, they're going to keep thinking like that. A lot of people are victims to that kind of situation. So I don't want to be overly rude towards them. I will be overly rude to the people who share that shit on the internet. I think it's very damaging, and it reinforces this crazy notion that random Joe on the street can be gang stalked for no reason. They all think they know something, or they have like something in their possession that these people are after. They think that they're so important, and it's like a Truman Show situation. And I don't think I feel like videos like that are so harmful when they reinforce that idea. So let's move on. I don't know what this guy is on about. Logan, winging about 7 hours of work. Good luck, man. I don't know what that means. I don't know if like I say something in the video, like I spent 7 hours recording and editing a Minecraft tour video. I think that's what he's referring to. Something dings in my head about that. Maybe I should check the transcript or something. But, you know, when I said it took me 7 hours, I recorded it. That took about an hour and a half. It took me 2 hours roughly to edit, which was, you know, cutting around, cutting stuff out, putting the text on each part, and then making sure, like doing like a rough watch through, making sure everything was good, writing down the timestamps, then rendering. All that took about 2, maybe 2.5 hours. Then it renders for about an hour. You know, it's a 1080p 60 FPS video. It's got to have time to render. Especially with how many cuts there are. That's what it's encoding the most. And then, you know, after that, while that's happening, I'm making the thumbnail, and then I have to upload it. I upload it, I schedule it all out. So maybe not 7 hours, maybe even a little less than that. I don't remember how long it took me to be exact. But I wasn't winging it. That's still, if that's what he's referring to, that's still a lot of work. And, you know, even though it's a lot of work, if you grind it out, like in a night, it's not that bad. So, that's what he's referring to. Then, eat my ass, Logan. This guy's saying here to say I was here before you get big. I thought that was pretty funny. So, this one threw me for a loop. This guy says MK Ultra is fake. Wrong. That's not true. There are lots of documents and evidence to show that MK Ultra is very real. And in fact, we actually have lost a lot of those documents because they were destroyed before the whistle was blown on that operation. And I respond, you know, that they found it out through a FOIA request and all that. I don't know if I would say gang stalking is fake. There's a lot more nuance to it. Most cases of gang stalking are mental illness. But there are some real cases of gang stalking. Maybe not that much in the US. Maybe a lot of that happens in Russia or in places where there are regimes and there's someone who's very outspoken and popularly outspoken about the government. Or, you know, like someone blew the whistle on some massive corporation with a lot of, you know, sway in the government. Maybe those people have more of a claim to gang stalking claims. But overall, it's usually a sign of mental illness. I would not call it fake. His response, you, at Forbidden Land Podcast, you are a liar and a gaslighter. I love this response. Me and my girlfriend were laughing so hard at this response. She just sent me the screenshot of that comment and was like, I'm going to just start sending this to you every time we're in like an argument about something. Oh, that's so funny. I got to see if he has anything on his channel. Oh my god, he does. He just has a little short. Oh, he has gameplay footage, speedrun strat, clip through walls. Oh. Does he say anything? Does he not say anything? What about this? You're not gonna say anything? Holy shit. Anyways, let's move on. He might just be a child. Or like a really dumb adult. So anyway, we move on, more comments defending me, all these. So this is where we kind of get into that third wave of people coming in and starting to defend me against the crazy people. All these gang-stalking people probably have schizophrenia or some mental issues. Sad. So, I like these comments. This guy's saying I've been gang-stalked for years now. Some person liked this one. I love these follow-ups. It's me. I've been gang-stalking me with all my homies. I assume there's supposed to be punctuation in between these phrases, but I just think it's really funny. Here's A-Tech to the rescue. Someone accidentally responded to A-Tech and not the original guy. Yes, we have him and the rest of the homies leave empty coffee cups on their trash can to prove we know he's an Illuminati reptilian alien experiment. I loved that one. I'm gonna leave hearts on those. The guy responds, wrong. This guy's definitely super old. I do like that he said, seek help, my friend. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. This guy just kind of strikes me as someone who's a little older. Another guy saying he's wearing glasses with cams in them. Still doesn't, explain the fact that the guy was, like swinging a golf club around like a doofus and openly narrating about the people that were swarming him. But here's this guy that doesn't know how to read the description or pay attention to the fact that there are chapters. How to gangstalk win? 5 minutes of bullshit in Minecraft. Maybe put a timestamp next time, so I don't watch 5 minutes of nothing, then click onto a new video. So here's the detail page for the podcast episode. Timestamps are right here. They've been here the whole time. No one... I didn't add these after the fact. These are in the original episode 53 doc, like they always will be whenever I do timestamps. The only episodes I really don't do timestamps for are the ones where I talk about one thing the whole time, or Forbidden FM, because it's so long. What the fuck? But, like I said, been there the whole time. When you watch the video, the timestamps show up on the timeline. The chapters are right there. So that's why I put them in there, so they show up as chapters. So that guy's clearly a moron, can't read. I don't know where the like came from when the timestamps are in the fucking description. I'm not going to put them in the title. I said on my personal account, because I was in bed at this point, said there is a timestamp, dork, and then A-Tech saying there are timestamps. This guy puts a long message about, people who think they're TIs. And then the last one, apparently the gang-stalking professionals of the world have one hell of a non-disclosure agreement, because I've never heard of any credible former gang-stalker ever. We somehow know about the NSA's super top-secret domestic spying program, but the gang-stalkers just can't be caught. We found Bin Laden, but we can't find a single gang-stalker. These people are just too damn good. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. It sounds nuts. It's because it's nuts. But here's my message to people who say they're being gang stalked. Please show me credible proof. I want to know. I'll be open to real evidence, real credible evidence. If it comes out one day that there are gang stalking networks for random individuals and the people doing the gang stalking come out, then sure, I'll listen and, I'll have my own thoughts on it. I'm not closed off to this idea. It's just when there are things out there that seem nuts and there's no evidence to back it up, that is why That is why I make fun of it, because it doesn't make any sense. So, anyways, writing my timestamps in real time, because, you know. Anywho, what if I just named this episode A Guide to Gangstalking 2? Rack up another couple thousand? That'd be crazy if I actually did that. Let's move on. Let's get this tab out of the way, because I don't want it pulled up on here anymore, and I think he's gross. Let's talk about this documentary that I haven't watched yet, but I've seen some clips from, about Dan Schneider, Quiet on Set. It's been an open secret for a long time now that Dan Schneider is a creep and disgusting, and that is the reason he got, asked to leave or like silently resigned or something from Nickelodeon. We've known that forever now. Go watch the Quentin reviews, in total, I think it's like a 30-hour series, but I've watched the whole thing because they came out so far apart. You can binge it for like a week, and then you have to wait like another 6 months for another episode. But go watch those videos, and especially the last Sam and Cat one, because that's when he really talks about the Victorious ones. He touches on it, the creepy stuff, because of the internet exclusive content, the slap.com and all that. But the last Sam and Cat episode, he brings up Jeanette McCurdy's book, and I've actually read a decent portion of her book. And it's very sad, but it's also a very interesting look into, I think I've talked about the book on here before, but it's a very interesting look into It's a very interesting look into that whole world, and she's one of the few that didn't take the hush money deal. You'll find out that a lot of actors and actresses, child actors and actresses that worked in that environment, who eventually, never spoke out about Dan Schneider. It's because they usually would take, not usually, but a lot of them would take hush money deals, where they would, probably sign like an NDA of some sort and then take money. And she pretty much said that she refused it, which is why she's one of the only accounts out there. But now there's this documentary. And I wanted to show this little clip. This person named Muriel on Twitter. And here, I'll show their handle on the screen if you want to go check them out. Drake Bell is trending. Yikes. Whenever Drake Bell is trending, it's never for something good. Here's her handle. This is her video that she recorded, I presume. But this is her tweet, at least. So here's like a little 30-second thing of part of this documentary.
Come on, give up the juice. Yikes. I'm thirsty. In another video, Ariana's pouring water on herself in what seems like a very sexual manner, and people started saying this feels inappropriate for children.
Looking at Dan Schneider's stars, some of them became extremely famous. Some of them really struggled publicly after her arrest last week. Now, some of them are starting to...
Yeah, so that's an example of stuff on the slap.com being insanely inappropriate. Those clips of Ariana Grande come from the slap.com. And some of them most of them I can't really get through, but like there are some where I have to just close my eyes because it's so gross. There's one where Ariana Grande has to pour like ketchup on her feet. There's one where I think that's actually Victoria Justice that has to do that one. I think I'm thinking of the one where Ariana has to like try to put her foot in her mouth. Just all the foot stuff, all the sexually suggestive stuff. It's all so gross. And rewatching shows like iCarly and Victorious and all that, you really see it. I don't know if you see it all that much in Drake and Josh, but I know you see it a lot in iCarly and a lot in Victorious. Very woman-centric shows, shows with many main characters being women, especially iCarly. 2 out of 3 main characters are women. it seems like with because with Drake and Josh, the main characters are two dudes, and then they have their sister. But like you can tell he really took the opportunity to go hard on the more woman centric shows because I would assume it's because they're women or at the time girls. It's not okay if they're women or girls, but like they were little girls in these shows or teenage girls in these shows. And like the actresses themselves were teenage girls or children. So I'm probably going to watch the documentary, but you should too. So I just figured I'd show that little clip. I saw it right before I started this and I wanted to bring it up because, I grew up watching these shows. So seeing that stuff now is disgusting. So we're really firing down this dock. Let's move on to... I got some heavy hitters on this dock. Oh, so Forbidden FM is on Google Podcasts. This podcast is not. I don't know why. I submitted it to Google Podcasts, and they never approved it. But Forbidden FM, for whatever reason, with one episode, was able to be approved, and every episode after that has been fine. And I'll be honest, I had never even heard of Google Podcast before I started distributing this podcast on other platforms. I assume it was more of a Google OS phone type of thing, like how Apple Podcast is. I wanted to finish my coffee before it got cold. But I would assume it was similar to Apple Podcasts, where unless you have that device, you're not going to know about it. But the podcast is on Apple Podcasts. So it looks like, though, me not hearing about what Google Podcasts is kind of affecting their company, because I guess I'm one of many that don't know what their service is. That, or they just see it as more efficient to utilize the multi-billion-dollar company that they bought almost 20 years ago, and just transfer everything over to that. Need a video player? Use the YouTube video player. Want a TikTok type of app? Use YouTube. Want a live streaming service? Use YouTube. So it seems they have wisened up a little bit. Like how they also went, we want a music service, and Google Play Store sucks ass. Yeah, let's just make YouTube Music. Like, duh. Let's just make a music streaming service that uses YouTube, which has its benefits and disadvantages. I've talked about it before that, I feel like, sorry, I'm typing something in. I feel like, the if you're going to use YouTube Music, get a new account. My account is almost 11. It'll turn 11 years old this year. In my liked folder, so on Spotify, there's something like this. There's a liked playlist where everything you've ever hit like on ended up in that playlist. And, I've had my Spotify account for a few years now, so if I go deep enough, there's some dumb shit at the bottom, but not a lot. And my liked playlist is big enough now where it doesn't really matter. If you go to the bottom, it's like a couple Pink Floyd songs and then like some stupid shit that I found in GTA. But on YouTube Music, I've gone on the YouTube Music app and I've logged in. And I don't know how to feel about seeing a Minecraft parody from 10 years ago at the bottom of my liked playlist. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about seeing like Lay Epic music video from like a 20 view channel in the bottom of my liked playlist. So if you're going to use YouTube Music, maybe start fresh. But on top of that, Spotify has podcasts on it and now audiobooks, I think. Apple Music still splits off from the Apple Podcast thing, which is kind of weird. But now YouTube Music is joining Spotify. where they will now start hosting podcasts. So this podcast has been on YouTube Music for, I think, since October. Probably since July. I think I've been distributing the podcast on other platforms since July. And I believe this, because I upload it to YouTube and I put it in a playlist specifically designated as a podcast, it shows up on YouTube Music as a podcast. And there's a video option or an audio option. And Forbidden FM is the same way. It's its own separate thing. But realistically, on YouTube Music, anything can be a podcast. It's probably the easiest podcast distributor to use because you just upload a YouTube video and it turns it into a podcast. Take a shot so far. How many times I've said the word podcast, and this counts. The one I just said counts too. But you can turn anything into one. I could put all of my live streams into a playlist and then turn the playlist into a podcast playlist, and it would show up as one on YouTube Music. But it's not just that they've added a podcast functionality where you can even now put in an RSS feed and it auto uploads it for you. They're just outright shutting down Google Podcasts. Like, I think I showed it a while back, but on the Killed by Google website, it is now on that website. They are killing it. I thought it was going to go away. They said mid-2024. Now I'm hearing it's going to go away in April. So one more month and Google's podcasting service is gone. And they made a thing like, find out how to import your podcasts into blah, 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 blah. You know, the ones that you added to Google manually because you only had an RSS link. Newsflash, guys, Spotify has the same feature. So if you have Spotify Premium, but you were listening to custom podcasts on Google for whatever reason, you can add them to Spotify as well. I'm subscribed to like a couple Patreon exclusive RSS feeds on Spotify. So just keep that in mind. But it's official. They're killing it. It's joining the graveyard with YouTube Stories, Google Plus, the Google Street View app for Android, Stadia. So yeah, Stadia is still like a fresh wound for me. But yeah, so I figured I'd cover that a little bit since, you know, this video is on YouTube Music and is also I attempted to put it on Google, but it just never worked. So we'll see how long Google Podcast stays up before I have to remove it from the website for Forbidden FM. So, what next? I've been technically going in order this whole time. You know what I mean? But maybe I'll break the order a little bit. Let's talk about Apex Legends. I stream Apex Legends primarily. Especially lately. I used to try to change it up. I would do like Nintendo games, or I would do Emily is Away, or Call of Duty, or Minecraft for even. But usually nowadays, if I'm going live, I'm playing Apex Legends. Let's be real. It's the game I play the most. It gives me an excuse to keep playing it more. All that. Well, the other day, and let me pull it up. The other day, there was an esports tournament for Apex Legends. And let's see. People are asking if it's safe to play. So this will give you an idea of how insane this is. Let's see. All right. So, I'm trying to pull up the clips of the pro players getting hacked. They were in the middle of a game, and whilst playing, it seems that they think that somebody sent like a hack packet through the anti-cheat software, which would show some kind of vulnerability. It would show some kind of vulnerability in EA's anti-cheat software. But God, I'm trying to find a clip. Here's one. What happened in the middle? An Imperial Hal got by this too. So here, I'll show this.
One flash. Where?
Zach, bullet here on my ping. I knocked him there.
Yep.
Wait.
So you can see now, he can see everyone. Like, he has wall hacks now. And this guy, starts spamming stuff in the chat. This is the guy that sent him the packet, pretty much. And, this is him. This is the guy that sent him the packet. My bad. This is the guy that sent him the packet. As far as where vote Putin, oh my god. Jesus Christ. As far as I'm aware, this is the work of somebody outside of this, and it's not their fault. I would be shocked to find out if multiple players were cheating during this match, and they all got found out at the same time. I would be shocked. But I kind of doubt it, because since this popped up almost immediately once it happened, I'd argue it wasn't his fault. There are settings that you can turn on in OBS or really in a lot of capture softwares, where it will hide stuff like this, like the Steam overlay, or like, stuff like that. It'll hide overlays. And the fact that this popped up immediately usually indicates that he didn't have that enabled. So, plus he's on, it looks like Xbox. Or no, that's PlayStation. He's on PlayStation, so he wouldn't need that anyways. But, really interesting stuff. Like, this is towards the... I was going to say it's towards the end of the match. I forgot they all survived way longer than 4 rounds.
Wait, what the fuck?
Don't worry about it.
I'm getting hacked. But
I know. Sure. Can you play the game?
Bro, I'm getting hacked.
I know, but can you play?
Yeah, but it's cheating. The fuck?
I know. Sure. I know. And what?
Like what?
No, but is
What?
it fucking up your game?
Yes, I can see everyone. Like I'm.
One thing I hate is that then his teammates start going, we'll leave, and it takes them like 30 more seconds to finally leave the match, and I'm like, bro, just leave the match. Save face. But yeah, and it seems that now everyone's worried because there haven't been any patches since the whole thing happened. Let's see. That's funny. We haven't seen any patches for the game yet. And that would mean that more than likely the anti-cheat service has not been updated at all by EA. So a lot of people have been suggested to not play the game. And from what I've seen, the only fix they've really come to the conclusion on with this is that due to the hack, you pretty much have to reinstall Windows, or at least find the part of your kernel that it's embedded into, which I think that's nuts. Someone, or at least the EA anti-cheat software, can have access to your Windows kernel that easily. Why is it that embedded into the kernel that if someone gets access to that, or gets access to EA servers and then sends like a packet through, a malicious packet, that it can then embed itself inside your Windows kernel? That's crazy to me that that's even possible. And it kind of just shows like a lack of a lack of EA giving a fuck about their security. But it's whatever. I still played Apex on stream today, so that shows you how much I was actually worried at the beginning of the stream, and then I stopped worrying. But it's just because I kind of assumed like there's no way they would do it to me. But you know, who knows? Maybe I'll log in tomorrow and my computer will like explode or some shit. It's waiting for me. It's a kill switch. The other topics I have are really funny. Last night, the King of England, King Charles, was trending on Twitter. Everyone thought he was dead. Like, I guess Buckingham Palace was being really cryptic about his state. And, you know, like, he has cancer right now. Ass cancer. So, really all we can hope for is that, not even hope for, I think we can all predict that he's probably gonna die at the same time as Trisha's baby is born. That's what I think will happen. I think Trisha's gonna have a baby. Elvis will come out. The king's soul will leave his decrepit body. He'll go. It will be brought up to be judged first. They'll lash him 1 billion times for what he did to Diana, his daughter. And then his soul will float down and land right into Elvis, Paytas, Trisha's baby. Or wait, will the baby's last name be Paytas, or will it be Moses' last name? Will it be Hackman or Paytas? Whatever. It's going to be King Charles incarnate. King Charles can reunite with his mother, Malibu, who happens to be the queen, the former queen. I think he will die soon. If he outlived Joe Biden, insane. That cancer, dude. I think he's going to die soon. I think he has way too many things wrong with him. He's the oldest king to take up the throne. So, I think he's going to be dying soon. Anyways, the last thing on my list before it gets into my maybe section is the Rooster Teeth shutdown. So Rooster Teeth, which I didn't know this, is a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. Already I would have been sweating bullets if I had known that. I used to watch a lot of Rooster Teeth stuff, and I even I used to watch their podcasts a lot. Not a lot, but occasionally. And then it transitioned into, like, I stopped watching them. I used to watch Sugar Pine 7. I used to watch some Cow Chop. And then, you know, recently I've been watching Best Friends Today. Well, now, I don't know. I watched their newest podcast episode. They said Rooster Teeth has 60 days since the announcement until they officially shut down. And then it's up in the air what happens to all of those subsidiary networking channels. Their budget, if they get to stay on, if they get to continue as a program, all of it. All their channels get sold off, I think, by Warner Brothers. But it's like, it's just another project that Warner Brothers is completely killing off. Instead of just selling the company off to someone else. Instead, they want to take the loss on it for tax write-off purposes. I don't get it. I don't know why. It's just another thing on the Warner Brothers docket that they are killing for tax purposes. And I know the recent one besides Rooster Teeth that was a little bigger was that Acme movie, the Coyote and Roadrunner movie. It was like a court kind of movie, but it was done, ready to be released, and Warner Brothers went, we're gonna shop around. We're gonna see who wants this movie. It's like, what are you talking about? It's your fucking movie. It's yours. Your movie. Put it out. Put it in theaters. Put it on HBO Max. I don't know how it's worth it. I don't know how the tax write-off is worth it. Shelving Batgirl and that Scooby-Doo movie and now this one. I don't understand. How is this at all good for the company? How do they not know they would make a lot more money if they released all this stuff? You know, how are the tax write-offs worth it at all? You're still losing all that money. You just don't have to pay taxes on it anymore. I don't understand it. David Zaslav, first of all, can suck my whole left nut. But second of all, I don't think he knows what he's doing with a company this big. And I've said it before that if you fuck up a merger this bad, you merge as companies and you just immediately start hacking away at everything that company you merged with has built. And you start slowly destroying the company, clearly taking advantage of the tax system, that the Federal Trade Commission should step in. The federal government needs to step in. That's not good for the economy. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for all the employees of that company when you start hacking away employees of the company, killing the entire staff of other companies. With Rooster Teeth, they laid everyone off at Rooster Teeth. And the subsidiary channels are all running off a skeleton crew now. People who made Red vs. Blue, gone. They're gone. You know. It's almost worse than Machinima. As a former Machinima affiliate, I used to be partnered in the Machinima network. As someone who used to be with them, this Rooster Teeth situation is far worse. You know, Machinima died like a little bitch. It like sold itself off and then just like disappeared from the internet. Wiped all of its content. Every Machinima that was ever made under their wing, gone. Machinima ETC, one of the best gaming news shows out there, obliterated. You know, all these. If you ever wonder where the Tom Kenny, I just don't want to fucking work, where he drops the F-bomb, that came from Machinima ETC. You know, that company, it just fizzled out like a little bitch. Rooster Teeth was like operating like any other YouTube conglomerate. And then it was just all the staff gone. That channel is now a ghost of what it was. Just a ghost. I would be shocked if they deleted everything off the channel, because I'm sure all the videos make passive income. You know, as long as you keep up with the partner program requirements, I'm sure all those videos make like passive ad rev. But that channel is just a ghost, and all the subsidiaries are just the skeleton, and eventually the subsidiary channels are going to start disappearing too. I wonder what happens to Sugar Pine 7. I hope someone archives all of the Rooster Teeth content that's on their website, because they had a lot of exclusive content. And I know Sugar Pine 7 isn't affiliated with them anymore, but you know, I wonder what happens to all the videos they made under Rooster Teeth. I wonder what happens to all the podcasts that get their ads from Rooster Teeth that are in the podcast ad networking program. If you didn't know that, there's a large program of podcasts that all work with Rooster Teeth to get like sponsorship deals and networking deals and all that stuff. So I just wonder what happens to all that stuff. I had to, while talking about that, I still had to throw like a heavy jab at Machinima. Fuck Machinima, dude. Fuck them. I used to be in Machinima, and I used to have monetization abilities on this channel before the YouTube partner program was rewritten. But before all that, I had monetization privileges. I was with Machinima for 6 months before I was like, YouTube, get me the fuck out of this contract, because they wouldn't let me monetize anything. Machinima was like restricting my monetization. I couldn't put ads on anything for 6 months. Then I got released from my contract, finally. And a year and a half later, I lose my partnership program privileges again because they rewrote the rules over at YouTube. But yeah, I was in Machinima for 6 months. From late May to late November of 2015, I want to say. Or maybe it was beginning of June, beginning of December. In that range of 2015, I was in Machinima. And it was not fun. I've thought about releasing the contract before. I have to read over the contract and redact a bunch of stuff. But I have my contract still. Of course I do. It was in my email. And I downloaded a copy. But yeah, Machinima sucked. And they're gone now, so fuck them. Who won? Who's still around? Me. To kind of harp back to the king for a second, I just realized when the king dies, do I get to take the throne? Think about this. I think I've pondered this question before because the leader of Denmark was stepping down at the beginning of the year. And I'm now the king of Denmark, as we all know. This is global news. We all know this. Everybody knows I'm the king of Denmark. I am Dane, after all. I think I said, though, when the king got cancer in the first place, that when he dies, I take his place as the rightful king of England. Why do I take his place? I've got that Irish in me, baby. We're taking it back. I don't descend from Irish people for nothing. We're taking the throne. I'm liberating the Irish. The border between Northern Ireland and Ireland, no more. No more violence at the border. I swear to God. You're all white. The only thing that makes y'all different is that the northern part are all bootlickers and the southern mainland part are all freedom fighters. All freedom fighters. Where do you think we get it from? We're taking that throne back. That's why I'm taking the throne of England. We're going to reunite Ireland. We're going to liberate it. We're going to support them fully. Anyone gets in our way, done. The most ruthless king against anyone who's anti-Irish. That is why I'm doing it. Anyways. Damn, I could have kept stretching out that bit. I have nothing else on my list. I wanted to talk about the Bad Batch, but I haven't watched Wednesday's episode because I'm recording this Monday night. I have tornado season written on the doc. What the fuck does that even mean? I wrote this doc a week ago. I have no idea what that means. Why I wrote tornado season in italics. Well, it's in italics because it's in my bullshit section. Because me on Saturday understood that looked really dumb. Yeah, it's tornado season. Woo! I've talked about it before that. Me and John have talked about it before that a tornado hit our town a few years ago, and it was around this time of year because it's tornado season. Ryan Hall was live a few days ago, or by the time this comes out, a week ago on the 14th. So that should tell you enough that Dixie Alley and Tornado Alley, Spin Alley, we're in tornado season. And it's an intense one, too. Nice. My last topic isn't even a topic. It's just a reminder to bring up, this might be a shorter episode, guys. It wasn't. I've almost hit the hour mark at this point. If I just keep yapping, we're going to hit the hour mark. So. Yay. Anywho. Yes, so, you know, to summarize, the Irish were taking back England. Dan Schneider's disgusting. It's called Quiet on Set, the documentary. I'm going to watch it probably. I need to find out what it's on. God, wouldn't it be awesome if it was on Paramount Plus? Oh my God, could you imagine? But I don't think it is. I'm sure it's on like HBO or something. Or Max, my bad. It's called Max. Should have called it Discovery Plus Max. Just to really fuck people up. Don't play Apex until they come out with a patch or an official announcement saying it's safe to play. And even then, be a little weary about it. If you use Google Podcasts, rip bozo, go fuck yourself. Use YouTube Music from now on. And you know what? Go watch the last episode, episode 53. And then after that, go watch Forbidden FM, episode 3. The one right before this episode, because I'm really horrible at numbering things. Go watch those after this. Because episode 53 is really funny. I spend about 40 minutes talking about gangstalking. And then Forbidden FM number 3 is a little funny because we started way before the primary polls were going to come in. And then once they started coming in, we were just basically dicking around. So, you know, go watch them. Also, make sure you check out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/forbiddenlandpod. So go check that out. I do weekly video and audio uploads, and I also do just audio uploads of Forbidden FM. But if you want to listen to it on there, you can. I do occasional bonus episodes. If people pay for the membership, I'm going to start uploading more bonus content, including bonus episodes. Let's see. I think there's 2 bonus episodes in total. It's episodes that I end up scrapping. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. It's patreon.com/forbiddenlandpod. And then make sure you go check out the Discord. The link to the Discord will be in the description. Go check it out. It's, you know, I just make announcements about when I stream, when a new podcast episode comes out. You know, you can talk about the podcast. If you're subbed to the Patreon, there's a Patreon only channel in there where you can type up stuff, chat about that. And yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. This is the most I've ever plugged the other shit for this podcast. So yeah, I also do Forbidden TV occasionally on Twitch, but that's kind of for new viewers anyway. It's just reruns of older episodes of the podcast. So anyway, go check all that stuff out. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye. Also, go check out the streams.